I'm Peter Bois, nationally touring magician.
And I'm Gus Davis, nationally touring game show host.
We don't get regular Saturday nights because we are out performing on the weekends.
That's why Mondays are so special to us. They are our Saturdays.
We will help you get through your Monday by joining us on our Saturday.
Monday is the new Saturday.
Welcome to Monday Club. Hey, welcome to Monday Club! Grab yourself a beer, it's Monday! Or a cocktail. I am Peter Bois. I'm here with my sultry voice mate Gus Davis, and welcome to Monday Club. And this week, we cheers to a backpack thief-catching device. This is amazing. You got to hear this. Conjuring at the Colony continues. Gus does something to his face that everyone needs to see. Epic World Cup talk with magic, summer movie catch-up, stories from the road. Gus has a strange corporate shows. Can't wait to hear about that. And some teachable moments for your boating adventures this summer. Happy Monday. We made it to another Monday!
Cheers! That was my World Cup cheers.
Somebody just got 4 points. Somewhere in the world, 4 points to them.
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Dude, I am great. This marks not only my Monday, but I basically have. When this comes out, I will be a different age. This is my birthday week. So I am starting off my birthday week hardcore this week and doing some fun stuff I'll tell you about later on.
All right, I have to say, which you're going to tell us about later, but you're actually looking younger this week on your birthday week.
You know, I want a Benjamin Button this birthday. That's basically my idea.
You are succeeding.
Thank you,
there's
sir.
a little
Thank
tease for a little reveal later on. But this week, we are cheersing to a hilarious video on Reddit. So that means Gus found it. You want to set it up, or you want me to?
Yeah, sure. So basically the idea is this. It's a video that I found, and at first I couldn't really even tell what was going on. Basically, you just see a backpack leaning up against something innocuous like a fire hydrant, and it's just dropped there. And it's security footage of some dude who kind of walks by it and looks down and just sees a backpack that's unattended. And he just casually puts it on and slowly starts strolling away. And after he gets about, 5-6 paces away, just starts sprinting at top speed. And you realize, oh, crap, this dude's just stealing somebody else's backpack. But it's a bait backpack because it is tied with a long chain to a solid structure like a fire hydrant, and you just see these people hit the end of the chain, and it's like watching a dog run at full speed when it's tied up on a leash or something, and then their legs just go flying out from underneath them, and they slam onto the ground, and it's like poetry in motion, watching scum people who are trying to steal something just get their comeuppance that quickly and that majestically.
Yeah, it reminds me of those inflatables. You ever do that? It's an inflatable race where you put a vest on and you have a bungee cord attached to that vest, and you're side by side with a friend, and you have to run as fast as you can away from the anchor of the bungee cord, and then you have to put like a flag on a Velcro flag down, and whoever gets the farthest wins. But I've done one once, and I had whiplash for like 3 days. My neck was terrible. I was like, that was the worst freaking amusement park adventure I've ever gone on in my life.
And it's funny that you say that, because that is those two things are correlated, right? Like, one is a competition and one is some dude trying to steal somebody's backpack. So in the competition, your competitive brain kicks in and you're like, I'm going to run as far and as fast as I possibly can to get this flag further than my buddy so that I can win this thing. And what you don't realize is that Newton's laws of physics and motion still count. So as far and fast as you run is equally as far and fast as you get thrown backwards like a rag doll. And so, same deal with this guy. Like, they're putting on these stealing these backpacks, and they're running like they're just taking off so that they don't get caught by the cops or that they can actually get away with stealing something that's not theirs. And man, when that chain just clicks in and that's the end of their rope, watching them fly backwards and get body slammed on the ground is just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, wipe a tear from our eyes.
I know.
Yeah, it is hilarious. You guys got to check this out. I think it almost looks like when you're watching the first one is that somebody comes running after him that's in on it. So they're like, "Hey, that's my backpack," and then he realizes it, and that's why he takes off.
Right. Well, it's a whole sting operation. Like, you can tell because it's not just security footage, but they also have somebody in a perch that is following the action with their camera. You know what? We're going to do 2 cheers because I just realized it's not just the idea of chaining a backpack to a long chain and letting them hoist themselves by their own petard, but I think the person who's holding the camera and filming the person running away with the backpack on a chain and isn't laughing so hard that the camera is shaking up and down, that person deserves a cheers as well because you are a consummate professional.
Yes, because I would be laughing my ass off and possibly pissing my pants with anticipation.
I would too.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, if I was in the crow's nest with the camera, like pointing it at the person running with the backpack, you would just over on the audio, you just hear, "Oh, here it comes! Here it comes! Oh, he's running! He's running!"
So, Mr. Cameraman, this one's for you.
There you go. Cheers.
And cheers. And another second cheers to the wonderful people that made up this. Well, it looks like a prank, but I think they could potentially arrest these people.
Yeah, especially which one's the thief? Oh, he's the one on the ground unconscious after he got a whiplash. So here's to you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Gus, I have some special announcement to make.
I can see it, buddy.
You see it?
This is
the first day of mojitos for the summer, baby. Oh, yeah. I got myself a special Peter Special, Monday Club Special a mojito I made up. And I am in mojito heaven right now. It is delicious.
And is that mint from your own?
Yeah, I went outside right before we came on air, picked my mint, and made my mojito. And I suggest if you like mojitos, just grow some mint in a little deck hanging pot or something like that, and you'll have fresh mint all summer long. Here's a tip, though. Don't plant mint in the ground because it's an invasive plant. It will take over your lawn. It'll take over your garden. It'll just spread and go crazy. So always put it in a pot. And it's perfect because you can have all the other ingredients. They say use fresh lime juice. That's where I cheat. I use the bottled lime juice because to me it tastes the same.
Same deal.
You can have everything made up. You make up your simple syrup and have it in the fridge. The only variable is that mint, and mint goes bad if you keep it in the fridge, but if you grow it, it's always ready for you. So this is my solution. Just grow your own mint. If you want to make your own mojito, here's the recipe I use. You take 10 to 12 mint leaves, put them in the bottom of a glass, an ounce of lime juice, an ounce of simple syrup. Simple syrup is made by adding 1 cup of water, boiling 1 cup of water and then putting 1 cup of sugar in it until it dissolves, and then let it cool. You can store it in your fridge in a glass container. And mint leaves, lime juice, simple syrup, you muddle, which you just press the mint leaves down about 10 times or so, and that bruises them and brings out the mintiness into the mixture. And then you put 2 ounces of your favorite rum. I just use good old Bacardi Silver. And then you get a bunch of crushed ice and fill that glass as high as you can with ice, mix it around, and you have yourself an amazing mojito. Also, I found these little straws on, it was a bartender's friend, I don't know, some sort of bartending website, but they're metal straws, and they have, I don't know if you can see this, Gus, but they have, what is that, a filter?
Strainers.
A strainer at the bottom. Yeah. So that's the problem with muddled drinks, and like mojitos, is that when you're sucking it through a straw, you get a mint leaf up that frickin' straw, and it just destroys the whole experience of mojitos. So if you get one of these fancy little straws, you can enjoy your muddled drink without getting a mouthful of mint.
Man, Pete, I feel like you just added some new tags for Monday Club. I think you just added bartending school and horticulture to Monday Club. I mean, those are some avenues and pathways that we haven't really explored before. So for all our new gardening friends, welcome to the Monday Club Tree Board. You were way more fancy than I. Look, I didn't get back into Austin, into my home base, until about, 1:30 last night. And so I am currently drinking a Starbucks double energy shot in the tall boy can that I opened, drunk about a quarter of it, and then poured a bunch of Irish cream into. And then about halfway through Monday Club, I'm going to go ahead and crack open this Alternate Dimensions. I think it's a pale ale. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm gonna be I'm gonna have a breakfast drink and then a brunch drink for our Monday Club.
Oh, that's how you know we're gonna have a good episode. Lining them up.
That's right.
Oh, thank you guys so much for being part of the club. We love you all. Make sure you spread the love. Give us a little rating on iTunes and a review. That helps spread the word about us. Tell your friends, too. Make sure you share your favorite episodes on social media. That helps get the word out. And you can sign up for our newsletter. If you're not part of our newsletter, sign up, mondayclubpodcast.com. We send out special exclusive content just for our newsletter sign-up people. So check that out, which, there's an exclusive content I forgot to send out. So we're going to back that up till next week. So you have a chance to sign up for your newsletter now to get the exclusive content for this past week. Also, you know what? You might think, hey, we love Monday Club. We want to buy Gus and Pete a drink. Well, you can totally do that, and you don't even have to show up at our house. Just PayPal us the money with what you want us to drink, directions if it's a cocktail, or the name of the drink, and we'll go out and buy it. Just PayPal us mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. And we're also on Twitter, Monday Club Pod, and Instagram, Monday Club Podcast, and Spotify and YouTube. So you can make your Monday mojito magnificent with us.
Alliteration, nice alliteration, man. Right there, buddy.
Trying.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to make sure that we give a couple of people some shout-outs. So we haven't done this in a little while, but recently a couple of people have reached out to us, and I just want to make sure you guys know that y'all are loved. A first shout-out goes to Tristan. Tristan, you're awesome. Thanks for all the love on social media. We appreciate you. Also want to give a shout-out to a fan of the show, John O'Brien. I had dinner with him in San Antonio last night, and he said that he has all caught up on every episode of Monday Club and was driving to someplace far away and decided, you know what, I'll just listen to all the back episodes all over again. And I was like, oh my God, John, that is awesome. So shout out to you, John. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to my wife. She just finished, dude, get this. She did a charity event this entire weekend. It started at 5 p.m. on Friday night and ended at 5 p.m. on Sunday night. And she worked an entire day before then, so she actually got up at about 5:30 in the morning. I did too, because I had to drive her to work at 5:30 in the morning on Friday, and then did this entire 48-hour marathon where she was on stage performing improv for 48 hours straight to help raise money for special needs kids to come and learn theater. And
did she sleep?
No, man.
What?
She didn't. She got like 2-minute micro naps in between each set. So what they basically did was they'd start the set on the hour, and then they would bring in different troops to play with these 8 what are called marathoners. And so there's 8 people who would set up their space in the green room, and they went on stage every hour on the hour and did about a 50-minute set, and then went backstage after saying thank you and shaking hands and hugging audience members, backstage, used wet wipes under their arms, ate and drank whatever they could get their hands on, and then closed their eyes for 2 minutes before curtain went up and they got the next group in and they went back on stage. And so she did 48 shows all through the weekend, and they raised I think over $7,000 for this special needs for special needs kids to come learn theater, and I think she just deserves a toast. That's impressive.
Shannon, you not only get a toast, you get a huge Monday Club round of applause. Holy crap! I don't think I could do that,
dude. I couldn't watch all the Harry Potter movies in a row. You know what I'm saying?
48 hours?
Sitting on the couch. Yeah, I couldn't sit on the couch for 48 hours straight. And yeah, she was on stage, lights, makeup, audience changes, different scenes. I think she costume changes, the whole 9 for 48 hours straight.
Wow.
To do this charity thing. Yeah, it was crazy. So she got home last night about 6 and just knocked out and didn't move until this morning when she got up to go to work on Monday morning. So again, yeah, that super shout out to you. That's badass.
There's got to be a point where you have energy and you're performing well. Everything's going well. Then all of a sudden you start to lose energy, and the show starts going downhill, right? And then you get to a point where you lose so much energy, and you're so tired that all of a sudden you start becoming like funnier again, like deliriously funny. And then the show probably starts picking up again, and then I wonder how long it takes before it crashes again.
Well, it's so interesting. I was talking to her about her experience, and it's so interesting because the theater took such good care of them. They had PAs and volunteers who made sure that they took their medicines, like people who had to take medicine of the cast, that they took medicines when they were supposed to. They had a whiteboard where any cast member could write down, this is what I need or what I want, and it would be there for them. So one of the things she wrote down is, I want hot water with lemon every hour on the hour before I go on stage. And she said, not once did they miss it. Every hour she had a cup of hot water with lemon in it so that to help her voice and stuff like that. And she said the other thing that they did that's so cool is that the marathoners are on stage for 48 hours. But the idea is that all of these other troops come in, and those other troops, their job is to bring audience members. So all these other troops send out to all of their networks and like, hey, I'm going on stage at 3 o'clock in the morning. We need as big of a house as possible. So they bring in all of these people, and then the marathoners, their job is to play with these other troops as the special guests for their troops. And so they got people who were fresh to come on stage and play with them, and that helped a lot too. So it wasn't like they had to carry one scene for 48 hours. That would be impossible. But they had fresh energy every time, and because each troupe does something different, like some of them are musical, some of them are short form, some of them are long form, it made it where their brain was constantly stimulated. And she said it was after about the first 15 to 20 hours, you just look at the clock every once in a while and was like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess we just don't sleep anymore. We're just going to go on stage.
Man, I did like an hour and 15-minute show last night, and towards the end, I'm just like, I really want to go to sleep. I want to get off stage.
Look, man, I did 2 shows in 24 hours yesterday, and basically this morning I booked myself a massage. So yeah,
what can we learn from this?
I'm super impressed.
Shannon is way tougher than both of us combined.
So much tougher. Yeah.
Well, I was not on stage for 48 hours. That's crazy. Oh man. But
you were on stage though, right? You did another Conjuring at the Colony?
Yes, I did another Conjuring at the Colony last Thursday, and it went great. We had a bigger attendance. It was growing, so hopefully that continues the trend. Yeah, and it was really great. I've never really sold stuff after a show. You ever do like back of room sales?
Man, I've tried for the shows I do. I'm not the right show to sell merch at the back, but CJ does for his both his hypnosis show and his magic show, I believe. And that's that especially for the magic show. I remember merch was like a big part when I was growing up and helping work backstage for CJ for his magic show. It was a big part of like the fun part for the performer, because there's all kinds of backstage view stuff about how that merch goes. But yeah, no, I've never had merch for my shows.
This is the first time. Well, I've had T-shirts in the past where I've sold them, so that's kind of the most I've ever done. I've stopped doing that because then I have to fly with T-shirts, and it just we're performing for college students who don't have any money, so
Right.
so why am I trying to sell them a $15 T-shirt? So I stopped selling things a long time ago, but for this, it's a show at a resort, and there are people that have money, so I'm thinking to myself, I can make some extra money, and so it's working. I've sold a few things. I have it's all about teaching magic. I have a deck of cards, a magic gimmick deck of cards I teach with, and then it comes with a 30-minute download video of me teaching tricks with it, and then I have a hour-long download video that I'm selling separately that teaches 11 tricks for the beginner that are pretty cool, and it's pretty interesting to see how that goes.
Can people buy that online for people who didn't go to your show?
I do not have it available online. I'll probably make the 11 trick video online because I don't want to send out a physical product like a deck of cards. So maybe I'll leave a link. It is online. I'm just not advertising the link. Maybe I'll leave the link in the show notes if you want to go buy the video download. It's $15, and I teach you 11 amazing tricks. If you're like, you know what though, there's one trick that professionals might be interested in. Yeah, in there. It's a coin trick. And it's really good. I learned it to teach it on Scam School with Brian, but we didn't have enough time to shoot the final trick, so it never got taught. So I put it in this thing, and I was strolling magic with it for a while practicing, and I was expecting it to go okay, but I was getting like amazing reactions to this trick, and then I thought to myself, wait, I shouldn't be teaching this. I should be keeping this and hoarding it to myself. So, but I decided to put it in here, and it's pretty simple, but packs a big punch. So there's
that's
a little,
awesome.
What is it? A little surprise in there for people.
Awesome. Well, yeah. If you don't mind, share that with Monday Club people. That's super cool.
Yeah, definitely, totally will. And then I was in North Carolina doing another show for a school, and it was very cool. They had after the show, they had like 6 breakfast trucks, not breakfast, dessert trucks, like food trucks, but dessert food trucks. And they had like a block party with beach volleyball and basketball going on and dancing, and it was really awesome. I went to the popcorn food truck, and it was like Fruity Pebbles popcorn. It was like some big kettle corn that was covered in delicious sugar that tasted like fruit, and I would just bite into one kernel, and I'm like, oh, this is a lottery of flavor that I'm reaching into this bag. I never know what I'm going to get. And it was a cross between like Fruity Pebbles, and then every once in a while I was like, that tastes like a Starburst. And popcorn.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Fruity Pebble popcorn? Man, that's like, I don't know. For me, that's like Icarus, man. That's like flying too close to the sun. If I ever got my hands on that, I would be 700 pounds. Like, they'd take my feet. I'd get the sugar beat us.
Yeah. It's pretty damn addicting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
and I saw on your social media, didn't you have people who showed up with signs?
Oh, yeah.
For you?
So the show I did last night was I do like 5 orientation shows for them in a month. And so I get to know their students really well. And last night was the last one of the month. And they made like "I love you" signs. Peter, you're the best. I'm shook. And during the show, they would hold them up every once in a while and go, "Woo!" And so
That's so great.
I felt a little bit like a rock star last night, not going to lie. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. There's such a good group there. So, it was pretty cool. You can check out my Instagram at Peterbois, Peterboie, if you want to check out some of those pictures. But, yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Dude, there's nothing better than that when students and orientation leaders get into your show and really do something special like that to make you feel extra rock star. And what's really cool about that is not only does it make you feel like a rock star, so you do an even better job, but there's a weird psychological effect that happens with the audience too, where the audience is like, oh, like this must be like a legit thing.
Yeah.
And so they get into it even more. And that's a those times when stuff like that happens to me, I always just look out and I'm like, man, this is going to be a great show. Like that, it just can't go wrong.
And they've seen my show like a million times too.
Yeah,
and they still like it, which makes me happy. I'm like, you guys aren't bored of me yet. You know the punchlines, but to them it's like their favorite joke. You know, they don't mind hearing the punchlines over and over, and so it's kind of cool that people enjoy watching my show more than once. It makes you feel good.
Dude, here's a bonus teachable moment. I've struggled with this for many, many years, and I've known this for a long time, but I've finally internalized it, and it actually relates to something that I'll talk about a little bit later in Stories on the Road. But I used to agonize over, if I was going someplace that has seen me before, the idea that people, who, like, especially counselors or the staff that's there that sees me over and over and over again, I'd be so internally sad that they knew all my jokes, that they knew when things were coming, that things weren't a surprise. And I was always surprised that they would still laugh and say, hey, you're like one of our favorite parts of this thing and all that. And so I used to try to change things up all the time. And I finally hit that spot where I realized that if you like a movie, you'll watch a movie over and over again. You don't care. It's not like the movie changes. It's one of your favorite movies, and so you stick with it. And the same concept's true with doing a show. The people who are there who see you over and over again, they're happy to be sharing that experience with the group that's coming in and seeing it for the first time fresh. And it's like being able to share one of your favorite movies. And I literally, that all just sort of clicked in my head the other day when I was going out to do a show that it was a repeat booking, and I was struggling with, man, should I change it up? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I was like, nope, I'm going to go out there and literally do the same show I did the last time I was here, because I know that works for this group. And when it was done, it was just a rock star show, and it was fun. So bonus teachable moment.
Another thing is that I started putting in inside jokes for them.
Yeah.
So last week so 2 weeks ago, I accidentally, when I put my scissors back in my back pocket, I missed and they dropped. And then after the show, or before the next show, they said, that was so hilarious, you dropped the scissors. And so I purposely dropped the scissors in that show. And then all of a sudden, 3 people are laughing uncontrollably in the audience, and everyone else is like, what is so funny? And then last night, they dug into my YouTube channel, and they found a video I made about me playing the Super Troopers game at a show. And so Super Troopers game is you get a bunch of words or phrases, and you have to incorporate those into your show. And from random words and phrases, I usually get them via Facebook or Twitter from people that I'm following, and they're following me. And so they are like, will you play that tonight? And so they gave me a few things that I had to work into the show last night, and it was just pretty funny. You know, I would just look over every once in a while, and they'd smile when I said one of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for those people who are there and are going to see your show over again, making them part of the joke and part of the act, that's a class move. That's a class move there, bro. That's a class.
Thanks,
move.
Davis.
Hey, speaking
we should
of
go by Juan
Davis.
Sorry, go ahead.
Drop the scissors might be a new code name for Monday Club. Oh, I'm about to drop the scissors. Speaking of drop the scissors, it's my birthday week. When this podcast comes out, I'll be a year older, and for this birthday, I was trying to think. People have been asking me, especially my family members, have been asking me like, "Oh, what can we do for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday?" And I realized that I'm at that weird age where pretty much I have everything that I want. Like it's like I've gotten to the end of the Monopoly board, and I've looked around. And it's like, I mean, everything that I want is just a newer version of the same stuff I already have that works just fine.
or it's you just feel really guilty asking for a new Tesla.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly right. Like a new Tesla would be cool. I guess a new VR computer would be pretty neat. A kegerator would be nice if it fit in my office. That would be cool, but I really don't need anything. And so I was doing some sort of introspection and thinking about this coming birthday. And I realized that this birthday was sort of all about me being getting comfortable with getting a little bit older. I'm hitting 37, which is still like I'm on that weird cusp of being like I'm still in my mid 30s, but I'm looking around the corner and I see you 40. I see you creeping. So yeah, this for my birthday, what I decided to do to start off my birthday is I shaved off my beard and goatee and mustache. It's all gone, and I looked in the mirror. I don't remember the last time I shaved my face. It was probably about 10 years ago. And I've been sort of kicking this idea around for a while, and it was amazing how difficult it was for me to actually pull the trigger and do it, even though I had the idea that, hey, this would be a fun to me, from me, as sort of a physical reminder of a fresh start for a new trip around the sun. And what was funny is right before I shaved, I like sort of freaked myself out and got on Google and started looking at people who posted videos of them shaving and being full beard and then shaving off their beard, and 90% of them looked terrible after they shaved off their beard, and it almost freaked me out enough to not do it. But then I realized that I knew the reasons why I was shaving, and I was happy with those reasons, so I went ahead and did it. Now, the fun part about this is I haven't told anyone that I was going to do that, including my wife and son. And so in here, after we record Monday Club, I'm going to go pick up my wife for lunch, and I plan on just sitting down in their cafeteria and having her pass me and then freak out while we're there, and then pick up my son from daycare and have him cry because he's like, what'd you do with my daddy?
He's going to walk right past you.
Right past me, yeah.
Where's my dad? You kind of look like him, but where's my dad?
Exactly.
Dude,
exactly.
when I saw your face on Skype, I was a deer caught in headlights for a second because I thought something's different. And then I thought, is it glasses? And that was my first impression. Does Gus normally wear glasses? I'm like, no, once in a while, but not often. And then it took me like 8 seconds to figure out you didn't have any facial hair.
Well, it's so funny. I've had the same look for, like I said, I've had the same look since I was in high school, but I've had that same beard for since about 10 years. And what's interesting is, I can sneeze and grow hair. Like growing hair is not a problem. So I can certainly grow it back, and I plan on it. But my July is pretty light as far as doing big shows. I'm doing a couple of camps and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm gonna be a fresh me, fresh year, fresh look for a little bit, and then when it gets busy, I'll probably go back to my normal look. But it's a cool reminder for me this week that it's my birthday.
Yeah, and you're getting older, but you look like younger. Like it looks, we all know you're turning like 48, but you look 29.
38, 37, boy. Don't you jump you freaked me out for a second.
Well, here's to you, man. Thanks. Monday Club cheers to you and your birthday week. Happy birthday from all of us at Monday Club to you, Gus.
Thanks, buddy. This week in the news.
So, are you watching the World Cup?
I've gotten to see about I don't know, 2 or 3 matches of the World Cup. Soccer is not my favorite sport to watch, but the energy that is around the World Cup is infectious. And so if it's on, I will watch it, but I don't go out of my way to watch the World Cup. What about you?
I really want to get into soccer, but I'm having a hard time doing it because it's built around I feel like I would have to have a close friend close by that we could watch together to get like really involved in the games, and I don't have anybody else that likes soccer near me. But so no, I haven't seen any of it. I have watched the World Cup before, and it's pretty amazing when you watch it with the right people. It's fun. It's
so interesting how soccer is just not America's sport. It's not. But watching World Cup, like watching video of other countries watching World Cup, is inspiring because you'll see there's videos all over the place of tens of thousands of people who crowd in shoulder to shoulder and stand in a bar, standing up for the entire soccer match, watching it on TV, and anyone scores a goal, and it's bedlam in the bar. Just people throwing their drinks and hugging each other and kissing people around. It's insane. And it means so much to some of these countries to be spotlighted in such a world stage. So, yeah, man, I totally get World Cup. And, again, I'm kind of like you. I wish I was able to be with people who cared more, because I would certainly go all out I'd paint my face and wear an Irish flag or something like that around my head and go and support people. But yeah, it's been really cool to watch. Man, people take soccer really seriously.
Yeah.
Like people like goalies that don't block goals have gotten murdered before, and everyone sort of turns a blind eye to it. I mean, he did miss that catch, and that's
yeah. And you know what's funny? It's always the whole world thinks like America's crazy politically, but then we go and then the light shines back on them and their soccer fanaticism, and they're like,
right.
Really? You're gonna blame us for our crazy politics? And look at you. No, but I watched World Cup years ago with a bunch of Mexicans and Guatemalans and people from different countries where soccer meant everything to them, and it was amazing. It was awesome because it's infectious. Their enthusiasm definitely rubbed off on me, and yeah. And I loved it. And I love soccer. I played soccer all throughout high school, and I love the game.
Yeah, soccer is so impressive to me. I am just soccer was never my game. I'm not built for soccer. I don't really understand the physics of soccer, like how one person can kick a ball and have it curve at almost a 90-degree angle, and they know exactly how to kick it to a spot where someone isn't, but they will be in about 16 steps. Like, that's insane to me. And the strategy is super cool. Like, I totally get that. But I would like to be more of a World Cup fan. In fact, next time World Cup comes around, let's you and I just sit around and hang out, and we'll face paint ourselves for whatever country we want to be.
All right, that's the deal. A funny story from my days. So I used to work at a restaurant and worked with all those same people from Mexico and Guatemala and other Morocco. And I started organizing a weekly soccer game for everybody. So I organized this game at a local field, and then after the game, one of them comes up to me and is like, we didn't think the white kid was going to be any good. I mean, I'm not the best, but I could hold my own. So I thought that was a pretty good compliment.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Good for you. One of the things that comes of soccer that I guess we have to touch on, since this is This Week in the News, but have you seen all of the videos and examples of people who barely get touched and they just fall down and they take up like penalty time or injury time?
Do they have acting awards for soccer? I feel like they should.
Well, There's a lot of videos of, people will like go up and somebody will brush by their shirt. I mean, in instant replay, they clearly didn't even touch them. And these people throw themselves on the ground and writhe in pain, holding their shins while the doctors come out and do stop time for them and try to get a card called on one of the the offending player. But there's all these videos now of people making fun of that. Where I saw this one where there's this kid walking through his high school, and it's a crowded high school, and they're walking through the hallways with lockers on the other side, and some dude bumped into him, and he just throws his legs up in the air and slams on the ground, and that was his homage to World Cup.
Oh, I always hated that, and when I played, I was never one to take a fall. And whenever you played against like the super competitive people, you always knew, because they would just go down with a brush of the shoulder and look for some sort of penalty. But which brings me to this. So you can't bring lighters into World Cup matches? Did you know this?
I did not.
But a guy figured out a way to light his cigarette at a World Cup match. He brought a magician's flaming wallet, fire wallet, into a World Cup match, and there's a picture of this guy lighting his cigarette from his wallet, and apparently they don't check your wallets for lighter fluid, because this guy totally got away with it.
That's so great. I watched this video over and over again because two things. If you don't know what a fire wallet is, it's Magic is just not named very cleverly. It is a wallet that has fire.
Very descriptive.
You open. Yeah, it is.
It's like a lot of magician's patter. It's here. I have a ball. The ball goes into my hand. The ball will disappear.
We have two rings, and we're going to link them. What should we call this? Anyway, so this guy walks is at World Cup, and he opens up a wallet, and there's a mechanism by which the lighter fluid that is secretly stored in there ignites the wallet, and so the effect is that you have a wallet that you open up, and it is just a giant fireplace worth of flame is just coming out. And my first thought watching this guy light his cigarette off of this thing is, man, this dude's going to lose his eyebrows.
I know, right? You shouldn't put that thing that close to your eyebrows.
No, you really shouldn't put it that close to your face. Not the intended use.
And he has a hat on. He has a baseball cap on. I think he's going to just turn that hat into a flaming pile of... he's going to get bald real quick.
But you know what? He's going to get bald on international television with a fire wallet and a lit cigarette. So, you know what? Second cheers of the week. Also cheers in the news. Good on you, guy, for bringing in a fire wallet and lighting your cigarette. Cheers.
It's the summer. It's Monday Club. It's Monday Club's Summer Movie Challenge. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is out. Have you seen it?
Nothing to talk about here. I think we should move on to the next segment.
No, we should really milk this segment for all it's worth. Especially, we should get into the numbers. Like, really analyze the numbers on this one.
Nothing to see. Dinosaurs are extinct. It's okay. Let's move on to the next segment.
So it came out a couple days ago. A couple days ago from when we're recording. And let's see, Jurassic World 1 got 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom received a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let's go to the scoreboard.
That is a rough score. That is a rough score for Jurassic World. Before we go to the scoreboard, I knew that this movie wasn't going to be good. I probably will still see it just because I want to support our summer movie challenge. But I knew this movie wasn't going to be good based on the premise. Do you think you can recap the premise of this movie?
Well, I've listened to a couple people talk about it. I listened to the Kevin Smith podcast, and all things dorky on there. And basically, what I got from it is that it's a good movie. You know, it's a solid movie. You'll be entertained and enjoy it at face value. But it's basically a remake of Jurassic World 2, where they go to New York, right? Yeah,
Right.
so the dinosaurs get out into civilization. And,
Right, which they've already done
so
before.
it's basically just rehashing the same exact plot with newer characters advanced in the timeline.
I mean, I'm all for, if I was an actor and you're going to pay me to be in a movie, I'll be in a movie. You want me to be in the Megalodon, I'll be in the Meg, or I'll be in a Thomas the Train documentary. I don't care. But here's the thing. Reading the script and the premise of the movie is, hey, we got to go save dinosaurs from the island because there's a volcano on the island that's going to erupt and make dinosaurs go extinct.
Again.
I think you just be like, I mean, it seems like they drew the extinction card pretty hard there, like twice. So, goodbye, dinosaurs.
I'm with you.
End of movie.
I'm with you. You don't try to bring them back to New York, especially when you know what happened last time you bring them back to New York or wherever you're bringing them this time. Yeah, that's unfortunately rehashed it. But hey, that contributes to our summer movie catch-up because I guessed that it would get a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Gus guessed a 29. That is 21 points off for Gus, and that is 4 points off for me. So, I win.
Yeah, you're kicking my ass at this summer movie challenge. I'm gonna just go ahead and buy a popcorn maker for my house so that I can get ready for all the crap movies that I'm gonna have to watch in penance for this. I think Ant-Man and Wasp comes out next, and so maybe I can redeem myself for next week. But woof, buddy, it's pretty rough on this end for the summer movie challenge.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So I was traveling this weekend to North Carolina, and I flew an airline I don't normally fly, Delta.
Ooh.
Yeah, they had a cheaper nonstop flight to where I was going, and I got their American Express card, so you get one free checked bag, so you can save money that way.
Nice.
And it does have a yearly fee, but they waive it the first year. So I'm still up on it. And so yeah, this is my new strategy with airlines. I'm gonna get just enough with Southwest to make sure I get A-list, and because I missed A-list preferred this year for the first time in like many years, because I just started doing more local things, driving gigs, where I drive hours instead of fly, and so I'm starting to prioritize easy travel. And Delta has more flights than anybody, and they're actually turning around a lot. A lot of their customer service stuff is better than it's ever been, and they're not terrible anymore. But to me, they're like the second best airline out there. So that's my goal. I want to get a little bit of status on Delta, and then make sure I maintain my minimum status on Southwest, and just take the better of the flights on either airline. That'll make it easier or cheaper on me. And question?
Well, I was just going to say we've talked about this on Teachable Moments before, but as a general rule, that is the secret of travel, is to be to fly enough, just be loyal enough to one airline that you have some sort of preferred status with them, and then travel becomes a metric crap ton easier for you as a traveler. If you're just a general, they look at your boarding pass and they think, wow, this guy flies once a year, you're kind of left out in the dust. But if you can be with Delta or United or Southwest, in any of them, if you can be in their preferred tier, then all of a sudden you get some serious perks, benefits, and special treatments if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, and because I used my American Express card to log in, check in, I got that free bag, and then also I got Sky Priority Boarding and was moved up to like comfort seating, so I had extra legroom for free. It was they do make you feel special.
They don't do that for the riffraff.
They do make you feel, and this is like only the second or third flight on Delta this year, but if you use their credit card, that's a pretty good deal. And it also made me realize, because with Southwest I get to go into the priority TSA lines, so I just bypass everything. And I realized that Delta, there's so many more flights going out of every airport with Delta that there's just their security lanes are insanely long, and and so I literally needed the 2 hours. I got there early to get to my gate within enough time because there was so much security line. So I'm finally going to get global entry, which gives me TSA pre-check, which I've never gotten before because I'm just lazy and haven't gone out and done it because I've never had to, because Southwest, I just had my preferred lanes, and I would always fly through TSA no problem, even without pre-check. But yeah, definitely going for that.
Dude, man, this is a teachable moment filled episode of Monday Club, but I got my pre-check about 2 or 3 years ago and will never ever look back. Like, that was the single best thing that I have ever done for travel. It has definitely made it where I've made flights that I shouldn't have been able to make, but the bonuses of getting pre-check are that you can keep your shoes on, you can keep your belt on, you can, if you have a light jacket, not a heavy jacket, but a light jacket or an overshirt shirt, you can keep that on. You don't have to take your computer out of your bag, and you just throw your stuff in and go through and you go through the metal detector thing, not the body scanner. So I was always opting out of the body scanner. So literally it saves me 15 minutes of time just to throw my stuff down, walk through the metal detector, get my bag, and go, versus going through the body scanner or taking the pat down when you opt out. So yeah, and when I travel, there's times where I travel with 2 or 3 laptops to run all my equipment, and so it used to be that I'd have to take up basically the entire conveyor belt and put like 5 buckets down and put my shoes in one laptop in one laptop in another recording device in another, then my bag, then my suit. Like, I just took up the entire lane and had it go through. And so, yeah, being able to leave all that stuff just in my bag and push it through has been epically worthwhile. So I'm welcome to the pre-check.
Thanks, man. Well, I'm not there yet. I'm going to do the global entry just because that gives me international thing, and it lasts a little longer.
Yeah, I got that.
But also a weird thing is that they had I've had this before, but not often. They had canine sniffing, dog sniffing people, and so they didn't even have the body scanners open. I think if they have dogs sniffing for bombs, they can just everyone goes through a metal detector. So that actually
they just expedited
everything. And it was weird on the way out there going through Boston. They had the dog sniffing, which is cool. I'm cool with that. And there was this old lady being pushed by one of the airline attendant people in a wheelchair, and she was just old, frail lady being pushed, and the dog was sniffing her, and she was literally like 2 or 3 people behind me, and the dog was sniffing, and the dog wouldn't let go of her. Well, he wasn't biting her, but he wouldn't move on to the next person. Then he just sat down in front of her, and I'm like, holy shit, this old woman has a bomb, and that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about ready to die for cover. This freaking dog just found a bomb, and I'm in line. I'm gonna be famous if I live through this, because I'm gonna be on TV and interviews, and we were so scared for her life, this little old lady.
Meanwhile, it's the little old lady. She has baloney in her skirt. She's like, "Oh, you're such a good puppy."
I'm like, I'm sorry, TSA, for making fun of you for searching all the old people all this time. And so they praised the dog. And I think it was a test. I think it was a test, because she just got out of line and left, and nothing happened.
Right. So with all drug dogs sounds crazy. With all drug sniffing dogs and bomb sniffing dogs, all working dogs like that, they go nuts if they don't have a positive every once in a while,
because they need to be praised, the positive feedback and.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, literally, the dog will go crazy if it doesn't get a positive every once in a while. So, yeah, I'm sure they have to do plants, and it's a spot check for the dog anyway. But, yeah, that's nuts, man. I was at TSA, this is a couple of weeks ago. I made it through security just fine, but before we got onto our plane, 2 TSA agents got in front of the boarding line to get onto the jetway to go onto the plane, and they had this weird magic wand looking device, and anyone that had a cup of coffee, they got out of line and waved this magic wand device over the cup of coffee, checking it for I don't know what, and then cleared everybody, and then they have to get back in line and go. But people were grumbling because if they were in A22 lining up, and they pulled them out to do the magic wand thing over their coffee. Then they ended up being back like at A30 something because it took 30 to 45 seconds for them to wave their wand and get a negative on it. And it was one of those things that I'm sure it has a reason in their brain. It just, because no one explained what was happening, it looked ridiculous. Does that make sense?
I think it's always ridiculous to do that screening before you get on the flight because it's admitting that your security sucks.
Exactly, because if I have this hot coffee, I didn't sneak hot coffee through the first security checkpoint. I clearly got it at the Starbucks at B17.
Yeah, so go bother them for sneaking in drugs or bombs.
those Starbucks bastards trying to blow us.
They're trying to blame me for their... Oh, man. So you've been on the road, Annie? You've been doing some gigs?
Man. This last week has been nuts. So here's my travel for the last week. I had a magic show at a gorgeous theater in Kerrville, Texas. So woke up super, super early, drove to Kerrville, did like a 10 a.m. magic show for like 650 people at this library show. It was super cool.
Nice. That's a big turnout for a library gig.
Yeah, it was great. And so I did and this is the show I was talking about where I did that same show last year, and I was all up in my head thinking how I could change it. And right before the show, I was like, screw it. Last year they loved it enough that they brought me back. I'm going to do the same show. And it's hilarious because people who obviously they came in last year to see the show came up and told me what their favorite part was, or that they really appreciated they're like, hey, that new stuff you threw in there was awesome. And I was like, thanks. Anyway, but it was great. I felt like a rock star. I got to have a 30, 45-minute autograph line afterwards, so that was really cool. Then I slammed all my stuff in my car, and I drove from Kerrville to San Antonio, which is about an hour and a half away from Kerrville. Parked my car there, got in a plane, and flew to New Orleans, where James had driven our van, our Sprinter van, up to New Orleans and met me at the venue. We did a show at the University of New Orleans, finished the show, hung out for a little while. In the morning, we woke up, we flew back to Austin. We had a show in Austin, or just outside of Austin. Then the next morning, woke up, got back on a plane, flew back to New Orleans to do a casino in New Orleans. We worked the Boomtown Casino there. And the casino show was really strange. It was for their high rollers. It was a big, like a thank you party for all their high rollers. And what was strange about it is, for our shows when we do them for colleges, we give away a couple $100. It's really just a carrot on the stick to make sure people are having a fun time. This high roller show, we gave away $26,000 in cash.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Did they give you the cash right before the show to give out?
Well, no, it was all in, like, some of it was free play spins on things, and some of it was cash, and they had security and the event staff there that got to handle all that.
That's freaking great!
Yeah, it was cool. But here's the thing. I really like doing shows where there's not that much in prizes, because what happens if what's up for grabs is $1,000 a person for your team that wins, all of a sudden every game you play you care about in a different way. The competition isn't like, hey, I want to stack these cups faster because I'm having a good time. It's, hey, those guys over there, they're trying to take our money.
Yeah, different motivating force.
It's totally different. Yeah, it's greed versus fun. And so it was the goal for me at this show was to do everything as fair and as easily to understand as possible. And because of that, I also didn't get to choose the audience members that I would have liked to have up on stage. I had to do random drawings to make sure it was fair for each side to come up on stage, which meant my first round I had one dude who was probably in his mid-50s and then three other people who showed up on stage who were like 80s, 90s, been smoking since they were 14, just could barely walk, those kind of people. And so, yeah, man, it really changed the dynamic of the game show for me. But it went really, really well. We were super happy. The management was ridiculously happy for the show, and I'm pretty proud of it. So yeah, it was really cool to work at casino, and those times where you get to give away stuff. In fact, right before the show, our handler there, basically, she came up and she's like, "Look, here's what we have to give away in prizes. I really tried this time to get you guys like a new car to give away."
Whoa!
I was like, "Oh my god!"
You could have been like, "Well, we'll take that as our fee."
Yeah, exactly.
I love the name Boomtown.
Boomtown Casino. That's right.
Teachable
moments.
All right, Monday Club, my teachable moment is the Temdan. It's a recommendation. Temdan floating iPhone case. So I went out fishing. I live right on a river, and my neighbor has a boat, and he always goes fishing. So he took me and my 2.5-year-old son out, and we went for the ride. But my neighbor was fishing, and he caught a fish, and that was awesome. But I always take my phone with me, not just because I want to be connected, but mainly because it has a camera on it, and I'm trying to capture every moment of this child's life, so I remember it.
Right.
And I right before I went in the boat, I thought, well, what if I drop my phone in the water? And that kind of scared me. So I went right to Amazon, looked for floating iPhone case, and found it. Temden floating iPhone case has like 4.75 9 stars on Amazon, so I know it's going to be good. Only $20. Check it out if you are going on water, on a lake, in a boat, anywhere near a pool. Doesn't matter because they're waterproof. You can just dive down to the bottom. But anywhere you can't dive or see, you might want to invest in these $20 little pieces of foam iPhone cases.
That's cool. Yeah, man. There'd be nothing worse than seeing your $1,000 phone just sink to the bottom of a lake. In fact, dude, that actually happened to me, not with the phone, but I had just bought years and years ago. I was out on the lake, and I had just bought a brand new pair of Ray-Bans for like $120. I was super proud of them. And we got to the pier. We were about to get on the boat, and I leaned over to get my leg over the boat, and I watched in 3D as my brand new sunglasses slipped off my face and just disappeared into the water and disappeared forever.
Aww.
And it put a damper on my boating experience.
Yeah, that's a sucky feeling.
Yeah, it is. My teachable moment, although we've had a whole bunch of them through the entire show, I think my teachable moment is just this, guys. Do something for yourself, and do something that you enjoy this week. Make yourself happy. That will make me happy, knowing that you're doing something cool for yourself for my birthday. So next time I see you guys, I will be a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and we'll all party on a Monday.
You know what I'm going to do for your birthday?
What's up?
I'm going to have another mojito. Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you guys so much for being part of episode 67 of Monday Club. Check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com. Sign up for our email newsletter there. We're on Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter, Monday Club Pod, Instagram, Monday Club Podcast. Email us questions, comments, concerns. Buy us a drink via PayPal, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to James Caldwell, our amazing sound engineer, and Zach Holder for our music. Yes, I'm going to go bottle myself a mojito.